didn't fill it before the race. So let's talk about how that's happened. So it's a new rule basically that's come into this season for the Xfinity Series where you don't have to refill the car before qualifying, which means after you run all those laps in practice, the car is lighter. You adjust for that. You can then refuel it after qualifying. It sounds like they did a very lucky time caution.
Down to Progressive Pit Road. Here's Kim.
Brandon Jones at the top there in that bright yellow Menard sweater. Remember, he came out during the caution, first stop of the night for them. He said, I need more grip. There's actually no rear grip. I can't exit the corner how I want, so they will look for a little rear stability on that race car, Dylan.
Jeremy Clements in the 51 car.
Stage 1 complete.
Adjustment. So when they go around here to this side of the car, you'll get at least on that shape. So source off of it. That can get it in them, and as well as Ezekiel Die at the bottom of the screen. Said that he was right in the center of screen 4. They battled that condition all day today. So trying to get it a little bit better on the team.
So the good news is that you get some stage points. The bad news is now you come down and you pay the price. You get your tires, top off with fuel, and you're leaving. Justin Allgaier is so good on concrete, been outstanding at Nashville. 3 stage wins here, including the sweep that he picked up here in 2022 when he went to victory lane.
Now I have started.
I'm back in the picture.
Stage 2 about to begin. Stage 2 about to begin.
Skyrizzi helped visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. And with Skyrizzi, many were in remission.
Justin Aguilar sitting on the pole.
Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight that may occur before treatment gets you. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms.
There you go.
Hospitalization may
Yeah. This is just the race Xfinity Series race that goes on tonight.
Fill up on all the good stuff at Subway. All your faves packed with tons of crispy veggies and fresh sliced meats. And now, buy any footlong in the app for just $6.99. Great bread, great meat, great sauce, great deal. Get on it, people. Order now on the Subway app.
You on guard tonight? Oh, nah. They just got Simply Safe. It protects the whole home inside and out.
Stop. This is Simply Safe.
Whoa. That was impressive. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Alright, so
Things are heating up.
Raise the heat with Bluetooth. Speak with a licensed provider at Bluetooth.com.
When to go?
Find out if Bluetooth is right for you.
When I switch to T-Mobile, you'll give me an iPhone 16 Pro. Help pay off my old phone, and I still get to keep it?
That's right. No trade-in.
No!
Yes. It's our best iPhone offer.
I may come on
At Ace, however you grill, we've got the perfect
20 minutes early.
because only your local
Kenneth.
Ace has all the best brands in one place, like Weber, Big Green Egg.
So,
and Black. That sounds
so I may come on like
When my doctor
the race starts at 7, maybe on prior to that, so we can just cover all the lineups and then hear the anthem and then
Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood
do
pressure
the
before. Don't take
do the command, and then
and osteoporosis.
after that it should be
Chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling,
uh,
problems urinating, vision changes, or height occur.
what we do normal.
NASCAR on Prime at Nashville Super Speedway. Music City, baby. You can get yourself. Rewind racing and a guitar if you will.
Nothing like good old Rocky Top. Rocky Top Speedway, everybody.
NASCAR, it's on Prime. Start your 30-day free trial.
In honor of Military Appreciation Month, Governor GovX is proud to support those who serve our country and communities. If you have a military or first responder background, scan the QR code now for unbeatable deals on thousands of top brands. GovX savings for those who serve. And now we do our golden moment. Golden corral restarting on the fourth row. Justin Allgaier got tires, and I'm coming through. Seven driving right to the.
Got a little bump there from Sheldon Creed. Put out of two. Basically, never looked back. Got control of his head. I think that is a problem for all of our other competitors. That the 7 has got to lead this race. He looked like the best in the long run in practice. He looked good on the short run. He's overall.
Yeah, I mean, just long run concrete. You gotta bet against this guy. That's gonna make this restart very important. Try and get control back from this guy. And you've had a chance to take a listen to your car. This first time Xfinity Series have been here at night in quite some time, and these guys have been able to put a few wrenches in the window and make some adjustments. And these guys are able to keep up with the 7 car.
Wallace lost the one track we can hear in that cycle of stops and strategy and the way things went on the restart. Here's the field. Echo Park restart zone. Got Hill on the front row.
Really good jump from Austin Hill there to get himself a shot here in turn 1.
He's to be able to try and get down to the to be able to stay there inside on Justin Allgaier.
Justin Allgaier regains lead.
Hill to second. Teammates were there for third. Creed the 00, 41 sticking there. Having a good night.
He came in here.
00.
Last year felt like it was one of the worst races, and it's been one of the toughest tracks. We're doing here and a single qualifying. That's why they were 25 great.
David, you talk about racing on concrete. I go back to last spring when he was so good at Dover. Felt like he could have won the race. I know two totally different places, but if you're going to make concrete connections, Carson's a guy to watch. He's fourth now. Oh, 19 going outside of Mayer, a bit of a wiggle.
Very loose there. It just looks like a tiny wiggle, but here there's just not a lot of room for error. We saw what happened with Kyle Seed and Parker Retzloff, and that inside car is always vulnerable when they get loose like that. They have a big wiggle.
So when he carries big entry speed down in there.
Oh, yeah.
They've got loose.
Connor says, thank you very much. I will be taking that position.
It's also someone that's so talented. We've seen it so many times. Quiet, one, two, and then he takes off, and a big slide off the corner into the water with there for Mayer.
I think you can see this Taylor Gray.
Yeah.
Watch every week and then ask me to take care. Composite bodies, you can get away with a shot like that. We see it week after week. It was usually one of the
Computer on. I accidentally clicked on Stain Stream.
Squeezes Sammy Smith right there down in the three. He's got on
Josh Williams.
Yeah,
He's big life. He's 10 He was 10 last week. He's been top 10 2 the last 4 weeks. College great history here. 11, 2 for 1. He gets the 8 as 50. Gets the 41 of Mayer. Celebrate Josh Williams.
exactly what we want to see out of Josh Williams. You know, how to that better last season. This season, start putting that car in the top 10 more often, clicking off top 10s, and he's doing that right now.
Lost 19 tonight.
And what the 41 and the 8 are just trying to lose here. They're just getting past, but they're racing so hard. And Ross is going to take advantage of the speed.
Yeah. Same as.
It's just running out of race. Yeah.
And bottom right there, Chastain going all the way to the top. They're trying to take advantage of that. He's already recovered from that bad restart to end stage 1. And I think that's the foregone conclusion now. How do I get a run on the 8? As you see, standing there trying to fight back.
If you're in Mayor's position, and you're falling back like this, and you're frustrated, right? But it's you get to the center and see the scrimmage, so you get some attacks and you lost positions. How do you just stop the bleeding?
Well, I think it's Tucci comes in there going, what happened? What do we do? Do we make adjustments? Do we not do the right thing as the track changes, as the sun continues to set? But obviously not a great restart here for the 41.
Let's get a report from Dylan.
Well, and yeah, quickly on St. Mayor, we see a good battle for position here between Taylor Gray and Christian Eckes. For the 41 Mayor, Parker, you and I were in the hall earlier today, and what did he tell us? We need 90% type of days. They've just had one top 10 in the last 6 races. In order to kind of get back to where they just needed to settle in as we got a caution on the racetrack.
31 is Blaine Perkins going for a ride. Third caution of the night as he hits the grass here in the ball field.
He's deep in the infield here. Let's see how he ended up all the way in there. He was not as far to the middle as you could be.
He brought some debris with him as he came back up for the pit lane.
Looks like all his tires are up. Not much damage. See this exit off of turn 4. Kind of looks like here.
So we're off of 4.
The outside.
Nunziata on the inside. Oh, just gets the left rear. That's how he ended up down there.
Yeah, Blaine's probably not going to be super thrilled with that. But I think with the 70 car, he's just trying the best he can to carry the speed off on the bottom. He already doesn't have the momentum. He's probably already lost the spot. Yeah, just lost the nose a bit on the exit. Probably not intentional, just unfortunate for 31.
Early caution in stage 2. Allgaier, the race leader, Hill, Creed, Buffalo, Almirola, the top 5. 31 spinning.
The 31 spinning.
Shady Rain sunglasses. Break them or lose them. Or replace them. Easy as that.
Kyle's gonna need you, Shady Rain.
Be right back.
our special guest. I'm Adam Alexander. Ken Dillon hanging out down there with Carl on the pit lane. Bunched up tonight as we feature Ryan Ellis. It's our Race Fit Health Report brought to you by Registry.
5 days per week, weight training, hit sauna, bike workout. He doesn't only just work off track. I'm trying to raise that sponsorship fee in that race car, also working on the physical side as well.
What's he doing ice hockey in North Carolina? That's why.
Joey's got him, right? And everything he does the phone calls because he's calling every all around the
More than anything else. That's for sure. It's like
This is going to be a good restart here.
yeah, we get a bit of a rematch here between Allgaier and Hill, and one tires now.
Justin Allgaier.
These cars in this series, you don't quite know what's going to happen with the car and the balance, but I think if Austin Hill gets as good of a jump as he did last time, we're going to have to do a better job of this being older tires.
The Echo Park Automotive restart zone awaits. Allgaier and Hill as we resume action stage 2.
Bud, back on the green.
Just got a pretty good jump there. See, getting a bit of a push. Did he stay beside Justin?
Nope.
3 wide for third. 3 down low for second.
I think he took his way up the racetrack. 3 lanes.
Old teammates racing for the runners. Look behind it, 4 wide at Nashville. Are you kidding me? 54 rookie driver Taylor Gray comes through.
That wasn't going to work. I like the butt traps here for Chastain in the back of Sammy Smith. Now the inside track to the 1.
I would say he's helping. He's just pushing him out of the way.
Mark Chastain.
Thank you to Acceptance Insurance for this right on board for that. Who else but Ross?
Nobody. That was a the whole sequence there, from off turn 4 to get in the back bumper of Sammy, pushing him, using him, then sidetracking and get the pass completed.
5 junior motorsport Chevys in the race tonight. They're all in the top 10.
Speyer and Smith can't get away from each other. This is just like the last restart. They're just dogging each other.
Sejan just sent it off to the inside there. He's probably going to slide up a little bit here. Finally, he's probably going to complete this pass. At the welcome sight for him to not be beside the 8 for once.
I'll be right back, everybody.
Just trying to get it on back out of the gas. And this is the point of the race where the drivers don't quite know where the track is anymore. We've had a few refires, we've had a few cycles, and whoever's getting pulled up as you see Eric Caparola really laying the egg into the 88 car. And guys are trying to figure out what lane they want to run now. You see some guys trying high, trying low, but sometimes you just have to go back to the well and try the bottom.
And one factor that you can see visibly on your screen as we've gone into the nighttime here, this is not happened in the Xfinity Series in many, many years, to be racing here tonight. A lot of teams had no idea what this would bring in terms of handling and how this track would change. They were watching old truck racing, trying to figure out what might happen. So not only do you have those refires on these tires, the rubber being picked up, but also we're going into definitely different and cooler conditions to be racing with us.
What they need right now is Ross Chastain. He has passed so many cars in such a short amount of time. Running high, looking low, making all the right moves. And I'm not saying this like up some point. It's good news for these guys. And if he's able to get close to Allgaier, who's opened up a big entry, it could be good to go.
Number 9 plus 4 since the restart, paying off statistically what you're talking about. And he's got more right in front of him. Eric Almirola is there. You got Connor Zillage. Engine number 9 playing nicely tonight as he moves around. He's got a great handling race car, Kim.
Actually, the handling now is great. The speed is good on that car. But Ross came on and said, we went from too tight to too loose. He said, in fact, so loose, I'm learning how to drive it this loose because it's been a while since I've had a car this free. They'll look to add wedge the next stop. Maybe just not keeping up with the migration of the racetrack. Because earlier in practice, they were so happy they were able to do very long run in practice. And they'll some changes. They've got pace, but not the balance, Dylan.
The car that's been mover is Taylor Gray in the 54 car. Started 24th. They played the strategy right there, flipped the stage before the end of stage 1. He got some track position, and then Taylor had a couple good moves on the restart as well to gain some spots. They were a little bit tight this morning in practice, actually a lot tight. Spoke with Jason Ratcliffe, and he said, I want to emphasize being good on the bottom. That's what we did in practice, and if we're good down there, I think we'll be able to move around and shouldn't have any issues. So whatever they've done on the 54, It's at least worked for now. Gray's been on the move, Carla.
Yeah, not a driver that sounds like they've learned more in the first half of the season than Sammy Smith. You think about him getting DQ'd in Charlotte last week after finishing fifth, but he's still in a great mental state today. We even go back to his DQ, or him capitalizing on a DQ at Rockingham and then penalized at Martinsville. He said that Martinsville situation was the best thing that ever happened. He's also been mentored by former NASCAR driver and Hall of Famer Carl Edwards. He's got help with his off-track mentality this season, and that's been
Well, that's never bad to have a Hall of Famer give you some good advice. I agree with the sentiment there around what happened with Sammy at Martinsville and how he sort of changed his outlook. And probably have to look at things from a higher level than he has in the past as he gets real. He'll die, and there's no bumper right now. He's not going to be happy about that. That's not going to play well inside the race car.
But how about Nye and the way they played the strategy? You get those stage points, and it's working out well because now there's so many times you give it up. You can't get it back after you get the points. He's doing it, driving back up through there, and much needed to see that last week with Charlotte. They needed to come back.
Right, and after, he had the lead there, but lost it down to turn one when they stayed out during that caution towards the end of stage one. And he sort of lost the front end, went up the racetrack, but recovered nicely and stayed there in the top 10. Impressive to see. I think he would love to have that restart back and be able to do it again, because I think he has the speed in that race car that had he stayed out there, he possibly could have won that stage.
Well, because you think about Clements and Benedetto were up there in the top three. He fell back right around fifth there at the end of the stage. For third, Eric Almirola, 19-21 Austin Hill. And by the way, as Almirola completes the pass, I'm glad for the sake of broadcast day that the car's not handling well. I hate it for competition because he is just cutting through there and said he's got speed, just to handle it. If they find that in this final stage, 9 will be really dangerous.
And also, you can see it work in the outside and making it work on the inside. It's so tough to do here as we go up. He's running the outside, but he doesn't get that momentum on the top side that you see on the exit of the corners, whereas the 9 seems to. Every time we go on board with him, he closes on the cars in front on the exit of the corner.
When he's to the edge of that dark groove that's been rubbered in, and he's been almost single-handedly pushing that up. I feel like some guys kind of run up, but he's been to the absolute tip top of it, and you have to be so disciplined to not jump that extra little bit and look for that line. But it seems like he's stabilized a little bit. Really interesting to hear as you see him get loose. Really interesting to hear the report there about him not being super happy with the handling of the race car. I think some of that, it can come down to track conditions. Some of that can come down to not being in his car, really much before, but he's still making it work when he's that uncomfortable.
And as we're on board there, Adam, you can hear him pedaling it, but he had to go to the bottom because I think he got the message probably from a responder that the 9 was using the outside so effectively as well as the 21. So Ross Chastain's have to change his line and go lower, and that car is really loose when he's lower. He needs almost fresh concrete on the outside. You're talking about pushing that groove all the way up to just get some grip in that right rear tire. The bottom's just not working for him.
When we're talking about these guys trying to make Allgaier and Creed, the two fastest cars right now, on the bottom. It is so difficult to convince yourself sometimes of what lane to run when you're hearing information about different things and you're feeling different things, but then the guy who's winning the race right now is running the bottom. So in this situation, you got a great battle here. You have to just go where the other cars are and make it work.
Right.
To their driver to watch long haul in this race is silly because just the confidence that he continues to gain in his here.
He continues to fight this race car. It just seems like he's going for the run. Something goes amiss inside that car. What he wants it to be doing because he just starts to fall back. He's constantly on defense, corner after corner, just can't seem to find the angle to move forward and generate positive momentum. Thankfully, he keeps starting a lot of track position.
Yeah, short run and pit stops, man. Yeah. That big time. He's still out here battling for his life to try and keep track position.
You see those good points. If you go to this race last year, started in the back, didn't make a point, the top 3. I had him circled on my short list of drivers for the weekend, but they have not been as fast as I thought. And then there's, Harrison Burton in the 25, 13th. They need a good run. He is trying to capitalize with some top 15.
hanging out with Jesse Love in his car earlier today, and his crew chief Danny Stockton after qualifying. He was quite quiet in terms of Danny because wasn't too impressed with their qualifying effort around 15th, and Jesse didn't quite know what went wrong there. He was a little upset with himself as well, but he felt like at least with what they were looking at, they were pretty good on the long run. I think we've seen that where he's been able to make passes, though. And a car that can make passes here at Nashville usually means a fast race car. As we look at the 10 of Daniel Dye. Hello. That's one way to make a pass.
Talk so much about this rookie class, and Dye is one that has been incredibly consistent versus some of the others. And it's showing again tonight in his position to get a stage point or two again as we head toward the end of our second stint of the race.
Nothing can make you more frustrated than for Taylor Gray in that position getting bumped. Especially here, it's at 125 mile an hour mid corner speed here at Nashville.
So that's the short track piece.
Yeah, that's the short track part.
Yeah, that's where it starts to feel more like a short track, and it's something you don't see very often. That's for sure. But obviously, no harm, no foul.
Not anywhere you're doing 125 mile an hour in the middle of the corner. You're still going pretty fast around here.
Restart didn't go good for Josh Williams, but he's trying to make a comeback here, racing for position. That's 13th on the line with Harrison Burton. And you look at Colleague overall tonight, I'd say 3 in the top 15 with 2 rookies when you consider some of the challenges they faced this year. You'll take it as we head toward the end of stage 2. Very much in the game for the
And they need it. They definitely need it, especially that 16 car. I mean, last week just getting a 9th with no stage points, but still having some positive movement in the points. I just think this team came in with so much promise and so much enthusiasm behind them. The Christian's been able to do in the truck series last couple of years. The 16 car has done with AJ Allmendinger and Alex Jans, who's the crew chief, who's done such great things in AJ. I think a lot of people looked at this, including myself, as someone who is going to be, right at the front immediately. They just had such a tough start to the season, King. But they're finally looking like they might be turning around.
Yeah, and Christian has been great here in trucks. This team has been great here in the past with AJ. And when I checked in with crew chief Alex Johnson, it was interesting. I kind of asked him to reflect on the first half of the regular season versus where they are now. And he said, the biggest thing I'm trying to instill in Christian is we need to start having fun. He said, I told Christian, you have a job. You don't need to worry about what's next. Right now, you need to make sure you're enjoying yourself, because if you're not, that can start snowballing and then tripping over yourself and having finishes you don't like, and it becomes this big cycle. So right now the goal is for Christian to have fun.
Knowing a little bit about Christian, and I can relate to this. I feel like he's a guy that puts a ton into it. Colin Presley, somebody I've worked with, spots for him, and has told me that, like, you remind him of me, right? Just as hard as he works, and it's awesome to hear that, but at the same time, you can absolutely get lost in the game, and this is about having fun. We get to do some pretty incredible stuff, and driving race cars for a living is about as good as it gets, and it's good to see hard work starting to slowly pay off for this guy.
It's weird when it gets too serious sometimes, right? You have to have that check with yourself. Wait a second. I get to drive race cars for a living.
Here's how dedicated he is, though. Alex Johns actually gave the key to the shop. I mean, that's not normal, right? So, here we go on the stage. All guys leading by 3.2 seconds with the Freed's really doing a good job of collecting much needed points. And he'll continue to fight for 6th.
Right, that's really big for Sheldon Creed's 0 team. Last week they were in an awkward position where they had to make an unscheduled stop. They got a lucky caution got them back, but had they not gotten that and had a bad finish, they were looking at being outside of the playoffs. Still was on the bubble cover this race, but points like this, second place in the stage, absolutely beautiful for that team to get started. Go back to that direction in terms of points.
I think Perkins trying to stay in the lead lap as we finish stage 2. All guys are playing nice right now. I'm going to do to get the free pass, right? Justin Allgaier going to get a stage sweep 16 times in his career. He's swept the stage, and that's the most time. When I look at this, only 3 times has he gone on to win the race. However, 2022, he got the sweep there at Nashville, and he also took the checkered flag. Creed, Almirola, Zillich, Chastain, your top 5. It's the Xfinity Series on C. Brought to you by TV. A once, forever. Race fans, Mississippi.
However you grill, you've got the perfect one for you. Because only your local Ace has all the best brands in one place, like Traeger and Blackstone. That sounds pretty perfect. Ace is the place for helpful hardware, folks. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like getting Bateman when you need the protection of Batman. Easy, things will be in life too fast, baby. And last just one form dermatologist. That's why you need to real. Go on, Bateman. Do a podcast or something. That's hurtful. So don't settle for just any insurance when they're safe.
Hey, Dad, check this out. 80 back ribs. Where does it go? Nobody knows.
Okay, how did you do that?
Honey, he's a magician.
It was sauce. He's not too the
Everyone's getting that new Simply Safe outdoor monitoring.
How do we compete with AI-powered outdoor cameras and live agent monitoring?
Stop. This is Simply Safe.
Whoa, I didn't even see those guys. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
From a very young age, I had a dream and I was determined to make it happen.
We the future. We want to prove that we the best.
The biggest sprint car series in the world is coming to Red Cedar Speedway for the first time ever on Wednesday, June 4th. See NASCAR superstar Kyle Larson and the High Rollers in their final Wisconsin appearance with the Kubota High Limit Racing Roto-Rooter Midweek Series in 2025.
To go all in with Kubota High Limit Racing.
Don't miss it. Get your tickets now at highlimitracing.com.
Owning land isn't for everyone, but you're not everyone. Sure, you have a place to settle, but that doesn't mean you're the type to settle. Meet the all-new Mahindra 1100 and 2100 series, engineered to be tougher and smarter than anything else in the field. With a reliable diesel engine, our best ever lift capacity, and easy to use intuitive tech, your toughest jobs have finally met their match. Mahindra, out working the field. It's 0 for 84 and 2,000 cash or up to 5,000 back on the all-new Mahindra 1100 and 2100.
Attention homeowners. Are you behind on your mortgage payments? Is the bank threatening to take your home? Is your home worth less than you owe? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you need to call this number right now. It won't cost you anything to find out if we can help you. We are the Mortgage Defense Line, and we can help you save your home. Don't wait. Call right now.
Call 1-800-395-1251. That's 1-800-395-1251.
CW Sports coverage of the NASCAR Xfinity Series is brought to you by Golden Corral. Golden Corral offers our nation's heroes. And by Progressive. Save when you bundle home, auto, and motorcycle insurance. Visit progressive.com. 2 stages complete for the NASCAR Xfinity Series here at Nashville Super Speedway. Is it going to become the Just an All-Guy show here? He gets the
Got the makings right now.
of the race.
The batter is being mixed right now.
I said before the break, this finish coming to what? I'm rooting for it, but he's got all kinds of phrases over there. Progressive Pit Road is open. Here they are, Kim.
Watch them come down pit road, starting with Eric Amarola at the top of your screen. They still need a little more turn. It still looks like air pressure adjustment on those first 2 gear tires. 0 of Shelly Creed hitting the box right there. He said free entry, tight center to fire off. But the longer I go, the more secure I get on the entry. But that tight center builds really badly. Air pressure adjustment on that 0 Shelly.
Jeff Stallgeier has been really happy in clean air, but Jim Coleman going to stay ahead of the track and continue to free him up. Just a small track bar and small air pressure adjustment on the 7. Chassis adjustment as well on the 88 of Connor Zillage. He reported that he was edging in and tight in the center, but better than they were on the first run. 4 tires and fuel for the 88.
Race off pit lane, and we have a change in the front. As you look at our Progressive race off pit road, +1 for Creed. Allgaier loses 1. Zillage and Mayer moving in the right direction. Not as good for Almirola. Final stage when we come back to Nashville.
I touch you, baby's button.
little girl with a big story to tell. I take once daily giants at each day start. As time went on, it was easy to see I'm lowering my A1C.
And for adults with type 2 diabetes and known heart disease, Jardians can lower the risk of cardiovascular death too.
Serious side effects include increased ketones in blood or urine, which can be fatal. Stop Jardians and call your doctor right away if you have nausea, vomiting, stomach pain, tiredness, trouble breathing, or increased ketones. Jardians may cause dehydration that can suddenly worsen kidney failure.
We are at T-Motion, everybody.
Infections in men and women, urinary tract infections, low blood sugar, or rare life-threatening bacterial infection between and around the anus and genitals.
Stage 2.
Call your doctor right away if you have fever or feel weak or tired, and pain, tenderness, swelling, or redness in the genital area. Don't use if allergic to Jardians. Stop use if you have a serious allergic reaction. Call your doctor if you have rash, swelling, difficulty breathing, or swallowing. You may have
Justin Haley.
Call your doctor right away if you have new pain or tenderness, sores, ulcers, or infection in your legs or feet.
Jardians is really swell, the little pill with a big story to tell.
You know Harbor Freight for affordability, but durability goes right along with it. You see, we test, and then we test again. Now, it's time for you to put us to the test. Whatever you do it for us at Harbor Freight.
Well, I just want to make.
You love our legendary subs, so you're legendary. Doritos and Subway. Two legends come together to create. Yes, thank you. Doritos for long. Just find that. Subway.
I've always been an active person. Yoga is a big part of who I am. I love how it makes me feel. But not long ago, I felt I had to hang up this old yoga mat. You see, I have symptomatic obstructive HCM, which left me so short of breath.
Hey, Steel's live, everybody.
So I talked to my cardiologist, and he prescribed Camzyos. He said it works by targeting what's causing high obstructive HCM.
Camzyos is used to treat adults with symptomatic obstructive HCM. Camzyos may improve your symptoms and ability to be active. Camzyos may cause serious side effects, including heart failure that can lead to death, a risk that's increased with a serious infection, irregular heartbeat, or with certain other medicines.
Yeah.
Presented by the Jihad's Foundation. For family of drivers, Sam Mayer, Shelton Creed, Harrison Burton, Kyle Sig, and Ryan Sig are driving in honor of a charity that's important to them, earning points throughout 4 races to raise money for the cause, with a total of $50,000 being donated. After earning 38 points in Charlotte last weekend, Sam Bayer currently leads. The fun continues through the Pocono race, so keep tuning in to follow along and scan the QR code below to learn more and see how you can support these great causes. Here's Kim.
Yeah, you guys talked at the top of the broadcast about the roughness and 3 and 4, specifically the bump. Here's what Sheldon Creed noticed during that last run.
The Leo line, it just roll right around there. He can get to the gap before the bump on the line, and it doesn't make him spike. Where when I try to run the bump, I get to see with that bump, so I have to come across it as an angle.
So then he was mentioning just now, he watched what Justin did. So for our drivers, Parker and Austin, how do you defend that when you notice what Justin does? What he's able to do versus what he can do?
Well, that bump's big enough that you have to change how you drive the motor purely for the size and what that does to the balance of your race car. And what Sheldon's seeing is there new things over that bump because it affects his car differently. So I think it's good to observe that, but sometimes you have to separate what you can and can't do in your car.
Ready for the final stage, front row, Sheldon Creed, Justin Allgaier. Here they are in the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone.
Oh, man.
Anthony Alfredo all around.
Christian Atkins destroying front end. They cannot catch a break in that team. Unbelievable.
Certainly, it would have had to miss the shift for all this to happen. Ryan Ellis, after a good race last week, first good.
No. Yeah, Christian's probably going to have to stop that car.
Yeah.
Engine's overheating. It's losing all its fluids. Radiators pushed in.
Man, here's a driver that came in with so much optimism after a top 10 finish at Charlotte last week, and last year here at Nashville, leads every lap and wins the truck race, and tonight this. It'll be 5 years now. It'll be 14 races for Christian.
Some have been mechanical. Some have been at the wrong place at the wrong time, like this. They just cannot seem to catch a break. See how this unfolded. A little checkup. Oh, it's just that stack up. You see the separation. So the 0-0 sort of hesitated as they got in the restart zone. That caused it to so the 20 gets spun out as he tried to check the car in front of him on the outside.
As a leader, you have the
Yeah.
ability to launch whatever you want to.
Right.
And we're going to do the way you don't know without looking at data or mile per hour or whatever, but the 0-0 didn't look like he stopped to just, the field was anticipating him to go over it. To the field, it's crazy to think that you have that much damage going at such a slow speed, but there's a lot of risk.
We've seen this a couple times in the Xfinity Series. 2 years ago, New Hampshire, we had an incident like this. I did exactly what Christian Atkins did. And NASCAR will get on a lot of these teams for being too separated as you get towards the restart zone because it's instances like this, and it's also the reason you kind of want to have your spotter give you references to what's happening in front of you. But when it happens that quickly for Christian Atkins, you can't respond. Suddenly the 25 has stopped. You're trying to get through the gears and go as fast as you can.
Right, and without passing blame on anyone, the 88 car tried to anticipate this restart. He jumped forward, wasn't able to get it right. The 0-0 hadn't launched yet, and then this all goes back to this 16 car where he has this big impact. Even with that camera is on top of this car, now you have a better view. The driver has no clue, and that one happens really fast. To where spotters, might not even be able to react. So it's it's tough to big thing for the Christian and their team.
And you brought up a great point, which is the camera's up top. He's sitting low there. All he can see on a restart of that because you can't peek out. You can't move. You don't want to break the plate in front of you. You have to fall in their tracks. Behind. All he can reference off the car front. That's where you have hope is hard to do.
Fifth caution of the night comes out early in our final stage. 3 from Allgaier, Zillich, Mayer, and Almirola. Jump into the few drivers here.
Caitlin Clark from the logo.
You know, life would be easier if I could do everything from the logo.
Allow me to assist.
Pickles. It worked! Buckets. Now that's a tomato. Sheboygan. You match. P-E-Z-O-L. Bottom row?
With the assist. At Ace, however you grill, we've got the perfect one for you. Because only your local Ace has all the best brands in one place, like Weber, Big Green Egg, Traeger, and Blackstone. That sounds pretty perfect.
This Xfinity Wi-Fi is.
Next up, boom tap. The Wi-Fi is booming like a.
I peel.
Green meat sideways. It's bursting with Wi-Fi.
Well, everyone who isn't boom when they see him is going to know what I'm saying.
The Wi-Fi is booming.
This is the woman. She fixes, she manages, she protects. Because maintaining this
Transports further to this space. The industrial grade product you need. Call, click, or stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Fill up on all the good stuff at Subway. All your faves packed with tons of crispy veggies and fresh sliced meats. And now, buy any foot long in the app for just $6.99. Great bread, great meat, great sauce, great deal. Get on it, people. Order now on the Subway app.
Your shipping manager left to find themselves, leaving you who need to hire. I need Indeed. Indeed you do. Sponsored jobs on Indeed are 2.5 times faster than first hire. Visit Indeed.com/hire.
Oh,
Like NASCAR, but don't know who to root for? Toyota's got you covered. This guy went from
yeah, I did hear about that.
this new kid is all gas, no grip.
Yep. Kenneth.
I thought something is different about my man. It's Blue Chew.
Blue Chew.
Blue Chew? Blue Chew. Blue Chew. Blue Chew. He said it again.
NASCAR on Prime at Nashville Super Speedway. Music City, baby. Let me play you my favorite song. Rewind racing in a guitar you
Stream Nashville tomorrow. NASCAR, it's on Prime. Let's go your 30-day free trial.
And now we get our race day health report for Ryan Ellis, brought to you by Breastfree. Weight training with the Benedetto. I don't feel like that's a fair fight. Matt can get after it. You know what I mean? Squat rack, bench press, whatever it is.
It's got to be great motivation if you're going to just sleep every day feeling like you're not good enough.
Well, that's biceps are about the size of his torso. So it's definite motivation.
So he's one of the 11 cars involved in the really final stage. What do you guys notice here as we watch it a couple of more times?
Just taking a closer look there at the 00 and the 7, just to see if maybe the 00 did have a checkup whatsoever. It really looks like what you pointed out, Austin, that the 88 was trying to anticipate when the 00 went, sort of mistimed it.
Yeah.
And that sort of then caused the accordion behind them of all the cars suddenly checking up, as they felt like when the 88 went, that was the cue to go.
Yeah, I completely agree. You don't do something too egregious. I think the 7 rolls into the zone a little bit quicker than the 00, but it doesn't. The tough part is it happens so far back. The small thing that happened with the 88 and the 00 just flies all the way back to the field. These cars.
Radio here from 88.
Yeah, you can thank Sheldon for that. He parked it in the zone. As soon as we got to the zone, he hit the brake. Yeah, they had to put him in the rear for that. He tore up a lot of cars.
That's the other side of the story. It's, of course, if you're trying to anticipate it, you're going to feel that. We're trying to reference visually off of the 00 versus the 7 versus the 88, and that's a really tough thing to see. Obviously, Connor has the best view of what he felt like the 00 did. That's something that NASCAR does not want to happen. You're not allowed to sort of check up in the restart zone, play those sorts of games. They will call you out on that, especially if it's egregious. I just didn't see it there out of the 00. To me, it's like he just chose to go later in the box, didn't accelerate what others thought, and it feels like in Connor's position that's almost a checkup.
Kim?
Yeah, we see Brandon Jones heard that incident. While he avoided disaster, he didn't come out unscathed. Came to the radio after sliding around Christian and said, I feel like I flat spotted my tires. They kind of debated on the radio, and Sam McCauley, the crew chief, said, well, a flat spot's better than 30-lap scuffs, because they did not want to put on their last set of Goodyears. Remember, they do not have extra tires for this race. Ultimately, though, they just brought him down. They felt like their best shot was to put on those sticker tires. So he has on his last set of Goodyear tires with 84 laps to go here tonight, Dylan.
And Kim, we've talked a lot tonight about the rubber pickup and the rubber that's getting laid down on the racetrack. Here's a pretty good example of what a tire looks like that just came off of a race car that has a lot of buildup on it. This is the right front off of Justin Allgaier's car that just came off the race car. And when they took it off, I thought that there was a problem with it because there's a ridge, it's probably the thickness of a coin all the way around this tire that is just rubber buildup. It's basically been pulled off the racetrack. And here's where you can kind of see what a quote-unquote clean tire looks like, this bottom part of the racetrack. So Parker and Austin, you guys can kind of elaborate on this. When they tell you on the radio, make sure you get these tires cleaned off. This is why, because there's a pretty significant difference here between what you pull up off the racetrack and maybe what you want to put back down on the racetrack.
When we talk about that color change in the surface, that's why the color changes.
Where it goes.
We're pulling that all off the racetrack, and it's got to go somewhere.
And that's to your point, Dylan. It's all when we see these cars weaving back and forth and trying to keep those tires clean, especially if you have hot tires after a long run and you do another restart. That's why we saw with the 10 of Daniel Dye went straight up the racetrack and he was the leader, staying for the stage one. It feels like you have no grip whatsoever if you still have that on your tires. You get to work the minutes so tough.
So much conversation about that last restart. Let's go on board and listen with Sheldon Creed in the double zero.
You get the tail end of that acceleration there, but when you go into the restart zone, drivers will do a multitude of different things. It depends on the speed, depends on the life of the tire, whatever. Some guys might drag brakes, some guys might do throttle. I think we got another look at this, but that's what you'll be listening for is what he does. Listen to you.
We get earlier now. That was a little late before.
Yeah.
Guys, I listen to that. You hear the tone. Tone is even as you go on the lap. And honestly, this happens in racing so often that the rest of the field anticipates something, and the only guy that doesn't change is the leader. And I really can't look at that and think that the Sheldon really did anything wrong, but that tells me the field is amped up. The sun is down. We are going racing. These guys are ready to make moves because track position is important. We've seen it all night. The passes are hard to complete, and I think everyone's just ready to rip.
And that's the same stuff NASCAR would have used to also look at if they felt like he checked up in the restart zone. But as you said, when you hear it there, the tone of the engine is consistent all the way to the restart zone, and then he gets going.
Hey, we got another restart coming.
Let's go.
It's the NASCAR Xfintity Series on CW Live from Nashville.
CW Live.
Itch and rash of moderate to severe eczema disrupts my skin. Despite treatment, it's still not under control. But now I have Rinvoq, a once daily pill that reduces the itch and helps clear the rash of eczema fast. Some feel significant itch relief as early as 2 days, and some achieve dramatic.
See you guys tomorrow at 7.
Many saw clear or almost clear skin. Plus, many had clear skin and less itch, even at 4 years.
I just want, before I hit in, hey Kenneth, just an FYI,
cancers including lymphoma and skin, serious allergic reactions, GI tears, death, heart attack,
did you get the
CV event risk increases in age 50 plus with a heart disease risk factor. Tell your doctor if you've had these events: infection, Hep B or C, smoked, are pregnant or planned. Don't take if allergic or have an infection.
Disrupt the itch and rash of eczema. Talk to your dermatologist about Rinvoq.
Learn how AbbVie can help you save.
There's a reason they don't call them clean bikes, am I right?
Yeah.
Because of dirt bike.
Gas stations.
did you,
gotta start at the
see the,
Oh, you're from Oklahoma.
They have to fill the silence.
The bathroom code's 9914.
Progressive can't protect you from becoming
mod rules,
We can't protect your home and auto with us.
for Discord?
CW Sports coverage of the NASCAR Xfinity Series is brought to you by Progressive. Save when you bundle home, auto, and motorcycle insurance. Visit progressive.com.
If you didn't, let me know.
And by Golden Corral. Golden Corral
Oh, yeah.
honors our nation's heroes. When you spend a night on Broadway in Nashville, the next day the race cars are louder.
I've done that a couple times.
Well, let's go down to Carla.
Yeah, here with Ryan Ellis, who just got out of the Care Center elation for you last week. Obviously, disappointment here. How disappointing is it for your day to end like that?
Extremely disappointed. I didn't know how good our car would be today, but it felt just as good as last week. We were kind of biding our time and really no idea what happened. We went to go to restart and kind of turned into a parking lot and made it because we had to have a little more Richmar and felt like we really could have had another top 10 shot. And,
Thank you, Adam.
And thank you, Carla. Closed caption for this race brought to you by Tableau TV. Pay once, watch forever. Try this again. The Sheldon Creed on just on there. Creed taking advantage of a good pit stop. They go P1 on the restart.
If you're Connor Zilich, you doing anything different here?
I'm still going for the lead, man.
All right.
I actually wondered, based on the length of the last restart, would you take the outside lane instead of the inside lane here? It wasn't that bad, right?
No, you still on that inside.
It's not like his team got on the radio and said, "No, that wasn't the 00's fault." I think it's going to be good. I think he got the best car start on the outside lane. I'm going to improve. Show Creed's been able to help hold on strong. Obviously, still looking for that first career win. Should be a lot of fun. Really well.
79 laps to go. The Echo Park.
We have a lot of big gaps this time. By showing Creed here.
Daniel Dye flashing out wide back there. 0 off the corner, sliding up, all clear. 3 leads, Allgaier second, Zilich third.
They just got the ball there out into just a little bit. No foul. It looked like Connor Zilich definitely was
Yeah.
a lot more room with the 0 on that restart.
I tell you what, getting after it. Real bump. Push him out there, loss of momentum. 9 drives through for a spot.
Tell you what, I love these caution laps. This is the cleanest of the
Look at Chastain. I mean, he gets 2 for 1. Now he goes down to beat the 54 Taylor Gray, trying to get that spot for position. Put him up to 7.
The buck track down the front stretch to making the pass on the inside. I'm going to be calling it Chastaining from now on because Sainz keeps doing that rinse and repeat.
How about Daniel Dye tonight in the 10? Just been an outstanding performance for him. Second in the chase last year here at Nashville.
Yeah.
Really competitive run for Daniel Dye.
Peace.
Great to see after the disappointment last week.